We'll see if I can see it over here. Good. Hey everyone, it's Allyson from Quilting Code. Welcome this morning. I hope you have a nice warm beverage or cold beverage, whatever it is that you like to drink. And we are in the Hanky Challenge Mondays. And I have today just a simple thing that we are going to do. We are simply going to make a flap to cover a pocket. I discovered over the weekend, because I had this awesome experience at the Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza this weekend. And I discovered that it was really a really good idea to put a pocket in front that I could hold my cell phone in and my pens in. And hopefully I need to also have a place for my business cards so they're nice and handy. And that way I can wear my pocketbooks while I am doing my shows, and everything is super handy. Because of course I didn't wear pockets in my pants. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, that's where we're going with this morning's live. We are going to discover how to salvage all of this on, and I'm not sure if you can see it, Jeremy and my camera person there in the background, he is going to make sure that you guys can see. I want to save all of this around the, uh-oh.
I'll bring it back.
Oh, I can keep going. Okay. He said, wait a second. I'm like, okay. So I want to learn I want to make sure I salvage all this because I want to keep that as part of the overhang for the pocket. And then I want to make sure that I also am keeping the big guys come in. Is there a problem?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. So it might be that he hasn't figured out how to fix the camera. So this is the part that I want to keep. Okay, cool. You know, we got these guys in training. It's really good. And I can't do any of this without them. All right, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do, I want to salvage as much of this part as possible. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I'm going to rough cut it. So I'm just going to take my scissors. And I know that I'm going to be coming straight down here for my purse. Okay, and so I know right here I'm okay cutting. And so I'm just going to cut, and I'm going to need that little dot. I'll show you why in just a minute. So I'm just going to cut right here gently. There we go. And then I'm going to rough cut a 1/2 inch all the way around because I want to save as much of my lacy stuff as possible. And I'm not too worried about cutting because last week we interfaced this with some French fuse tricot interfacing, and so I know that I'm going to be safe. It's not going to fray. It's not going to do anything like that if I just rough cut this. And so if you didn't get to see, I like to use the French fuse when I'm doing something like this because it just gives it a nice feel, and it just makes it a little bit stiffer. That's all. All right, so I'm getting to the edge here. So I know I want to keep this part, and that way I can use this.
Mom?
Yes, can't see it.
Yeah, your hand is in the way.
Got it. I'll turn it this way and then you can see it. See, this is why I need these guys. I can't watch me on the TV. And there we go. And so at the same time. All right, so I'm going to go back to the front of this simply because, and it looks like I have a lot of bulk. I do. I am designing as I go. I'm scared to cut this off yet because I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it yet. I do have my ideas, but you are seeing the complete design process here in this challenge. We're just doing it together. If I mess up, I mess up. I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas about how you can do this and where my thought process is going. Okay, let me go this way. You never cut towards you, right? Right. Okay, so I've managed to save all of this so that I can use it in a bit. Okay, and notice how this is just a little bit curved, no problem. I'm gonna fix that and we're gonna figure out how to make that work. Okay, I'm just gonna put this over to the side a little bit and move this out of the way and show you what I have sort of come up with to make this work, okay? I want to make a flap that's going down like that. So sort of like that. It's going to hang over so that it hides my phone and everything. And all I have to do is lift up the flap and that way it's sort of, well, it's just going to be cute. I'm going for cuteness here, okay? So what I did was I took my ruler. This is my 4.5 by 8.5, and I took my ruler and put it down here, and I wanted to make sure that I was going to get all of my butterfly in while keeping the center right and all that other stuff. And so I had made a mark up here that marked the center up here. And then I had brought it down and marked the center down here. Okay. And made sure that my butterfly, this right here, this black line is going to end up being my stitch line. And I wanted to make sure that my butterfly would remain inside my stitches while keeping my 45-degree angle and everything else that needed to happen. And so, and if you have any questions along the way, please put your comments in the center. I know that I have Rebecca online, or at least she was supposed to join me. So hi, Rebecca, if you came online this morning. And so Jeremy is watching comments on both YouTube and Facebook, and we will be watching those if you are unable to watch this morning and you are watching in the afternoon. Please just leave something and we will reach out to you guys. All right, so now that I have got my points and I can see them, I know it's hard to see. You can see that one right there. Kind of looks to me, because I've cut all this off, that it's a little askew, and it's fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to match up my lines, and I'm actually matching up my lines on the 1/4 inch line, because I want to make sure that that my stitch line is that line in between the lines right there, the dots. Okay, so there's my dot here, there's my dot there. I want to make sure that my stitch line is going to be from dot to dot. All right. Then, and make sure that you're using a friction pen. Double check before you start marking on your fabric that it's going to erase. And I have already done that as well. And where I usually do that, like where I know it's going to be in a seam or something like that. And then I use my iron to make sure it's going to disappear. And it doesn't disappear with a white line. Sometimes it will disappear with a white line on your fabric, and or leaving a residue white line on your fabric, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm going to come up here and match up my dots and go ahead and do another line. All right, now I know that when I come in that 1/4 inch, my butterfly is still gonna have plenty of room, and I'm not gonna have to worry about him. Now, with my lacy stuff here, you know how I told you this is what I want. My ideal, if this works right, this is what's gonna happen. So what I want to do is I want to take and have my lacy stuff once I line this, going toward the outside. So you can sort of see how this is. I'm going to have to really mess with him in order. I think I do want the point, but you can see how right there, it's just sort of fluffing up, and that's okay. Once I get this 1/4 inch seam, it's going to be fine. But I do kind of want to make sure I iron that down just a little bit more before I stick that into my piece right here. Okay. Now, so to do all that, I need to have a lining piece. So I have pulled out some backing fabric that I had used on a project, and this colors match. But remember, this is the lining. Very few people are going to see the lining. So I'm sort of like, okay, as long as it's not going to see through my tricot and that type of thing, that's really all I want. I could have used a muslin or whatever I had on hand. But this just happened to pop right out and there was plenty of it. And so I thought, okay, here's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do with this stuff is I want to line it with this. So I am going to put it, I mean, this is cheating. This is big time cheating. Another reason why I did a nice line there was so that I could place this fabric right on here, and I am going to trace it so that I know that I have the same amount of fabric and the right dimension that I want. That way I don't have to fuss with, was this a 45-degree angle? Was this a 30-degree angle? I am simply going to draw on the same line. And for me, it's pretty easy to see. I'm sure on the little camera it is not, but this is, you can almost see it better on this side. And I'm sure Jeremy's going, I can't see it, Mom, I can't see it. And so now I have my angle here.
I can see it fine.
You can see it fine. Yay. All right, excellent. So I want to have plenty of space up here. So it doesn't have to be straight, but I want plenty of space up here so that I can, ooh, yeah, definitely. Come on all the way over. Yeah, we're going to go over even further so that I can fold this over and turn this into a nice edge on the inside of where I'm going. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut this out. And now I have a lining and I have a piece. So now you notice that I went right sides to right sides. That's because I want right sides to right sides when I put my lining on. And hey, I am notorious for one side being a little bit off. So we're going to just make sure that we have everything together.
So Rebecca did comment that she's online.
Hi, Rebecca.
Did you tell her that she doesn't have to comment from both Facebook and YouTube?
You don't have to comment for both Facebook and YouTube, hun. I just wanted to get your comments about what you think I should do better. So I'm just excited that you're here. Okay, so here's where going to the show messes me up just a little bit because my rotary cutter is in my other bag. And so I sat here for like 10 minutes twiddling my thumbs going, I know I'm forgetting something. But you know what? I have these awesome Hey Buckley scissors, so I'm going to be just fine. So I'm just going to cut on my line. Yeah, that's what I get for being, I was like, Jeremy, I know we're forgetting something. And it's my rotary cutter because we were demonstrating this awesome new tool at our show this weekend. And we took we took the little rotary cutter that I use up here for demonstration. We wound up selling out of it. So Will, the Kilted Quilter, did a fantastic job demonstrating. And luckily, this is the only thing I really wanted to rotary cut, so we're good.
And Dad did give me a mic this time, so you don't have to repeat everything I say.
Very good. Okay, so Jeremy is my son. He is just getting into quilting. We have this gorgeous new dragon fabric that came in a couple weeks ago, and Jeremy took one look at that fabric and said, oh, Mom, I might need to learn how to quilt. And I said, I have been waiting 21 years for you to say that. And what do you know? A quilt in 3 days. And like blew me away, especially because my distracted self was getting ready for the show and just couldn't handle it. So, okay, so this matches on here perfectly. And so in other words, Jeremy was kind of on his own. So that's the point. Jeremy was kind of on his own. I'm going to do the same thing with this fabric right here. I am simply going to cut on my line. And that way I have an ability to do right sides together. Now, For this step, I am going to add in my trim. And this is the only thing we're going to do today is make sure that my little idea is going to work. There is the total possibility my little idea isn't going to work. And that's okay. So we start over again and come up with a different solution. The worst case scenario is that I'm going to have to rip it out and simply try again, and that's fine. The reason why is because getting the lace in just the way I want it is going to be a little tricky. And so I might have to rip, but when you're doing designing, that's just how it is. I mean, think about when you're learning a new skill, how long it takes. And that's why I'm doing this in sort of short little bursts and saying, okay, I'm going to do this one thing at a time. I know I want this, so I'm going to learn how to do it. And I'm learning how to do it with you guys. All right, I have my little piece here, and I know I want this little piece to stick out just like that. Okay, so I want it to be in the center and then to come out in the end. So I am going to put this right here on the edge like this. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm actually putting it so like the little nubby things are right on the edge of the fabric. And I am going to put it just like that. And then it looks like I can get away with cutting it right about here and be fine. So that gets rid of some of my bulk, okay? Get rid of you. I will save you for another project because I already know what the next project is going to be when we get this done. And I am so excited about that project. I'm going to start advertising that really soon. Okay, cool. So now this looks really good, but you know, I told you I really wanted to iron that down so that it would be really, really crisp and cornerish. Let me go ahead and do that. There goes the friction pen. Good thing I don't need it anymore. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. Jeremy, go ahead and, because this little camera is doing some fuzzy stuff, go ahead and put it on both me and the camera. Oh, would you guys like to see the dragon that Jeremy did? Oh, absolutely. Bring up the dragon, Grandma. Um,
Oh, Rebecca said, I think you need to put it with the lace facing the other way so it pops out.
okay, thank you. Okay, so what you're saying, Rebecca, is that I should stitch it down this way and then put the binding on okay. Well, we're going to do it that way. I have my seam ripper and we'll do it that way and see if that works. Because then it will be right sides out. Okay, but it still has to go like, oh, that's how I want it. So you're saying not to do this way.
So she said no. Lace towards the middle.
Gotcha. Okay, lace towards the middle. We're going with what Rebecca said. Going with what Rebecca said. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is simply get the lace. We're going to trust Rebecca here, man. Okay, I have the seam ripper. I might just do a basting stitch just to double check that that's how we want it. This is why we do this as a family. See, this doesn't look right though. So I still have to do it. Because if I do that, it's gonna not be in the
She
center.
said, hold on, let me figure out how to explain it better.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lining here. So I think it has to go this way.
You might want to put the lace in between the fabric. If you turn it outside, then the lace will be showing on
So oh, wait a minute.
in between.
This is the lining. Wait a minute, where are you? This is the lining. So the lining's going to go like that. And when I want it,
When you turn it outside, the lace will show.
right, I want it like that.
So you want it in between the fabric and the.
Right. But that has to be like inside out.
It has to be facing in.
Right.
Right. So then when you turn it right side out, the lace will be on the outside.
So what you're saying is this. I got you. Nope, got it now. Has to go this way, folks. Am I right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if Rebecca says that. That's what I say.
She says the lace needs to be away from the edge. If you sew it that way, when you turn it right, it turns out so the lace pops out the edge.
That's what I just said.
Thank you, Rebecca. See, this is why I need people to help me with my design process.
What's the matter? Don't look at it too closely. It's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going back to work.
Okay, I'm gonna, so what I'm doing here is I'm just getting right in there so that this will sort of fold up a little bit. And then I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna get rid of a little bit of fabric. That will help me see things better. Cool. I really want that guy right there. So I am going to stitch, or I'm gonna pin right there where I want that guy. And then that's gonna be the hardest part, is keeping that lace right there in that corner. And I still didn't get him. So you are right there. Oh, my tricot is falling off. It's all right. It's all good. Since it's off anyway, I'll just take it off so I can see what I'm doing. I feel like I'm a surgeon. All right, cool. Might as well just take it off. There we go. I'm getting ready to stitch it down. It's all fine. My son's laughing in the background. I'm like, great, okay. Laugh away, dear. All right, cool. Now that I have this ready to go. Oh, perfect. Okay. And perfect. This side now I'm seeing is sort of needing to come back this way. So I'm going to repin this. And then I still have to pin my lining on top. All right, perfect. Lining. Right sides to right sides. Get in there. Go on. You can do this. It's a little bulky there. So when I get to that section, I'm going to take my time. Might have to do it a couple of times just to make sure that I've got it. I like to go into the machine or pin my, put my pins the way I'm gonna stitch. And so these, I'm gonna stitch like this going into the machine. So I'm gonna make sure that all my pins are going in the direction.
Hey, wait a second. Becca has
Uh-oh.
another comment.
Okay.
You could do a basting stitch on just the lace in front to hold it in place before putting the lining in.
Okay, who's giving me suggestions? Is that Rebecca again?
Yes.
That was Rebecca again. Okay. Listen to her. All right, I think I'm good. But you're right. I am definitely doing a basting stitch when I get around that corner. All right. So I'm going to use a 1/4 inch stitch, and I'm going to make those stitches pretty wide just to make sure it's easy to fix. If I've messed this up. Make sure I don't knock my coffee off the table. Move this over here so that you can see what I'm doing. And I am actually gonna go from, I can see better the lace on this side. So I wonder if I want to go from the other side. No, I'm good. And so I'm actually going to stick with a 3/4 inch seam, just simply because like I can see the lace and where I want this thing. So nope, taking it out, doing it Rebecca's way. This is why I have Rebecca on. Can tell I don't do this very often. So, oh, yes, glad I did that because I'm turned inside out anyway. So want to go this way. Want to go this way.
But your hands in the way.
Hands in the way so you can't see what I'm doing. Move you right to the corner and go this way. Learning new skills takes time, y'all. Not something I do very often, as in something like this. This is just not something I do very often. I do a lot of ripping. I do a lot of asking and watching other people do stuff so that I can make sure I'm going to do it right. And I am going to start down here at the tip so I can make sure I get that guy where I want it. And I'm going to stick on a zipper foot because then I can move my needle over as far as I want. And I can, like last week when we were doing our zipper, we can control where that needle is going a little bit better because this has, it moves all the bulk out of the way. So let's see how this works using a zipper foot so that we can get in here and keep that little guy where I want him. Stay. And the cool thing about the zipper the zipper foot I'm finding right now is that my lace is fitting right on top of it. And so that's pretty cool. Let's move over the perfect. Oh, I didn't change my stitch length. Let me change my stitch length. Oh, this is going to help so much with the next project, knowing that that lace fits right underneath that zipper foot so well. I still didn't get that little bitty piece up where I wanted it though. And that may just be because it's just a little nubby thing. Jeremy has yawned like 10 times since we started. Did you sleep at all last night?
Maybe. You had coffee, right?
I did have coffee. Where's your beverage of choice?
Any form of caffeine that I could be drinking would make me fat, so I'm okay.
All right, little nubby thing. Stay where you're supposed to stay. It's going to end up being a curly thing. And that's okay. Pulled my thread right out of the needle. Okay, let's just double check that works all good. It could be better. It could be better, but it's fine. It's going to look fantastic. Okay, so now I am going to work on getting this. Let's trim you up. Where's my scissors? Oops, let me get here so that you can see it. I'm going to trim this up. I really should have done that whole basting thing to begin with. So thank you for the suggestion, Rebecca. Okay. Now we're nice, and I don't even have to think now because everything's good. Now we can put this right on here, stitch it, and I don't have to worry about getting that stuff in. I am going to go ahead and right here, I think it's going to be the hardest part. So I think I'm actually going to I'm just going to curve that a little bit. There we go. And that way I can sort of see it a little bit better because I can feel it too and make sure I get really close there. Okay. Sticking with that zipper foot on there because I love that. First project with these hankies, and I have discovered that the zipper foot may be the key. I am going to move my needle over just a little bit because then maybe I can sandwich that thing in just a little bit closer. I'm making sure I've got, oh, guess what? Didn't change my needle or my stitch length, and I managed to pull my thread right out, probably because it's on the thing. I don't like it when it's on the thing, especially when it's a nice full spool like that, because it just seems to do this like thing, and it does that where it doesn't quite spin fast, and it pulls my thread out. So I like to, I'm actually going to start down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to change my, I think I'm going to actually do that so that I get back to where I wanted, and then a normal stitch. Okay. All right, here goes. coming to the circle or coming to my edge here. Stay in there, little guy. Might have caught him. Hope not. We'll find out in a minute. I need to pivot here, so I'm going to put my needle in. Cool. Let's get rid of some of this bulk over here. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see here if this worked at all. Come on, little guy. Oh my goodness, I could not have done this without you guys. Look at that. It's exactly what I wanted. I could go a little closer because my thing, oh, I can go a little bit closer. So I'm going to do that. Now that I see that, get in there.
You might want to push that a little bit further towards the camera so they can see what you're doing.
Yeah, certainly. I'm going to try and get as close up.
And now you got to pull it back. There you go.
Go forward, go backward, go forward, go backward. Okay, I'm going to try and get in even closer right here. But everything else looks fantastic. So I'm going to move the needle over as much as I possibly can. And I'm going to wind up pulling my thread out. I better pull that back. There we go. My thread's like, whee, coming from way over there in the distance. All right. So I'm going to start. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm starting here and I'm going to go in where I left off. There we go. And then I'm going to come in as close because I wasn't really, ooh, that's too close. It might not be. It might actually be perfect. We'll find out if I have to rip. All right, let's see if I have to rip. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, it's perfect. Okay. If at first you succeed, try not to act surprised. It's a family motto. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let's iron. Couldn't have done it without you guys. All right, bringing the iron in, moving the sewing machine out of the way. Oh, that's gonna be, I mean, it's never gonna be perfect, but that is that's exactly what I wanted. So we're gonna go with it. That's exactly what I wanted. Probably would have taken me, if Rebecca hadn't been on, about 3 or 4 tries. So that's why I have a wonderful family that helps me out. Look at that, you guys. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I pictured. Exactly what I pictured. Okay, so that is today's, that was today's project, was to, okay, hold on. I got to get the full look here. This is where I'm going, just so you can have the full look here. So last week we prepared it by doing, preparing our lace. This week we're preparing the flap, and it's got a little something going on here, but that's probably those little extra stitches. I might be able to fix that. But look how fantastic. What we did last week was prepared our butterfly and tricoted the back of our thing. And then this week we have created a flap. What's going to happen next week is that we're going to create the pockets for my cell phone and a pen, at least a pen. And then I probably will put my business cards on the back, but at least I can have my cell phone, like where I can just lift up my flap and have my cell phone there. And then my cell phone's with me at all times, and I don't have to go digging for it in my purse. Isn't it amazing how everything goes to the bottom? This will keep everything right nice and up top. So And then we also have our zipper. So that's going to be the inside of our bag. So we're going to have an extra pocket on the outside. And then this is our flap right here. And then we will finish this next week. We'll finish up this pocket. But isn't this just fabulous, you guys? It really turned out just the way I want, even better than what I wanted. So now when we're going forward in doing our projects, I will remember exactly how Rebecca told me to do this so that we can do it with all the others. I hope you've enjoyed this live. If you have, please like, subscribe, share it with others, and enjoy your coffee and the rest of your morning. Bye, everyone.